61 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, and ESPNRichmond.com. And we're also live on YouTube. If you want to watch the stream, just type in ESPN Richmond in the search bar. We'll pop right on up, and you can watch live, be part of the show, comment, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff. And of course, as always, you can call, text in 804-327-0888. And while you're over there on YouTube, might as well subscribe to the official Fitz the Bill YouTube. Just type in Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. We'll pop right on up, and you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok as well. Alan, good Monday morning. How we doing on this this day after the weekend?
I'm a little tired, dragging a little bit, but it's because I know work is coming. It's a lot going on this week and so forth for the next about 4 or 5 months.
We're ramping up with the ACC Media Days here. It's the sign of a new season.
All right, I even cut myself short. Another like 7-8 months. I said 4 to 5.
Yeah,
wow.
It's until what? Until April of next year?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we are full steam ahead. Once training camp starts until
training camp. They report tomorrow.
Yeah,
report tomorrow. Big time. Is Terry McLaurin going to be there?
I got to remember what days I requested to go.
I will say Terry McLaurin will be at training camp. However, he will
not participate.
He will not participate because in the current structure of the CBA, he would be losing a lot of money if he held out. I love the current day hold-ins that they have where they just go and they're like, I'm not playing. I'm not doing anything. Just so they don't. Nice little workaround, a nice loophole found. Well, the one good thing I think the NFLPA did was working in that loophole, but everything else that they've done has not been great. Their executive director resigned last week. Their chief executive officer, chief strategy officer, JC Treader, he's resigning as well. Man, Pablo Torre on the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast just single-handedly destroyed the NFLPA by uncovering all of their wrongdoings.
Did he break the story about them using the funds for the strip club, or was that somebody else?
I think that was someone else.
Okay, because I think that's why a lot of people are doing the mass exodus.
He broke the story that Lloyd Howell had the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
He also broke the story that, and I think it was just added stuff on JC Treader, the fact that JC Treader went on Ross Tucker's podcast and admitted that he has told players that if you're not happy with your contract in the middle of the season or something, fake injuries to not practice and avoid being fined. And just kind of said the quiet part out loud and just openly admitted it, which it's okay if you're a player maybe admitting that, but I don't think the chief strategy officer of the NFLPA should be openly saying we are telling our players to fake injuries.
No, it's the same as openly talking about collusion. Like, we know it happens.
Yes.
Like, we know people fake injuries.
You just can't talk about it.
Just like we know people are betting on games. But again, if you put it in my face, it's like the one rule we have to enforce. Like, once that comes out in the public,
we have to do something.
Yeah, because again, we're running into that integrity of the game, and we can't have that.
As long as you're betting on yourself, it's okay.
I wouldn't even bet on myself. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, just don't bet.
Yeah.
Like with the Malik Beasley stuff, even with Jonte Porter, the Toronto Raptors guy.
Beasley has a problem. Porter was just a knucklehead.
I don't think Beasley did it. Malik Beasley, he's in a ring. They studied his stuff. Did you know that he's a 65% garbage time shooter in his career? So it's normal for him to do what he normally does at the end of games.
Well,
which is what people are pointing to.
He's probably been betting on himself pretty much the entire
career.
Dude, just the effort and energy he put into it. Like, it's just something I feel like if you're a degenerate, you recognize that energy. Like you recognize the desperation in getting down the court in less than 5 seconds for that layup.
Yeah, if you missed it, Malik Beasley, he's been kind of not indicted, but he's under a pretty serious investigation of betting on sports and fixing games. One of the examples people point to is there was 5 seconds left in the game against the Clippers when he was on the Timberwolves, I believe. Missed a free throw. He gets the rebound in under 5 seconds, runs from coast to coast, slams it home as the buzzer's going, cuts the deficit from 9 to 7. Just so happened that the line was 8.5. So that one looked a little rough for him. But if you look at his entire career, he does that quite often. But Alan, you make a good point.
He's probably been doing it.
Yeah, he's probably been doing it his entire career. The fun fact about Malik Beasley: his parents are both two very prolific actors.
Oh,
An actor and an actress.
I don't keep up with that.
Apparently, they've been like extras and like really like side role characters in like Flight and other movies. Have worked extensively with Denzel. Very interesting.
Wow.
And so he really didn't need to do any of that.
I got another fun fact for you. There is not a bet in this world you can place is going to be better than your contract you get as a professional athlete.
Well, they were working out a contract to pay him like 30+ million a year.
Yeah, like what are you doing, man?
And he just blew it all because he wanted to hit one 3-leg parlay that he probably got $400 off of.
I know.
Like, come on, man. The house rules are posted everywhere. It's impossible to beat the book. It is impossible to beat the book.
Yeah, you can't cheat them.
You will never cheat them.
If you could,
and they've got the government on their side.
Yeah,
not only do they have their own lawyers and crazy stuff happening. I mean, the back end. I worked for a very small sports book. We were only in one state.
Mm-hmm.
We did not have this huge. We weren't DraftKings. We weren't FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, whatever it was. We were small. But we had so much technology baked in where if there was a questionable bet or if we had a bunch of bets coming in on something that no one else was betting on, you know what they got? Emails and alerts the second it happened, and they would do a full deep dive onto that player's profile.
See, we're getting all the good stuff in the offseason. We got a betting scandal. We got the NFLPA using funds for extracurricular activities.
Hey, they only use $2,500 in this.
Hey, well,
take that over to Paper Moon and have yourself a good Richmond.
Now, listen, I don't know if my friend told me the club that they went to, but I think he was lying to me. If it was the club,
Richard's Gentlemen's Club,
no, if it was the club he mentioned, $2,500 is definitely cheap. Definitely suspect. Did you really even party when you went there?
When I saw that number, I was like, that's what come on.
But
but you can't be using NFLPA money.
No, you can't. Just like you, again, pointing at Florida, because I like to bring this up because it's a funny story, but you can't use your recruiting funds for extracurricular activities either there, guys.
You can point to Louisville too.
Yeah, that was back. Well, Slick Rick brought them to the guys. These people were on the trail.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know if that makes it better, but
I don't know either.
I feel like one's riskier than the other.
Yeah, Slick Rick, I think, was riskier than the other.
Yeah.
Slick, he spent his time in Greece. He learned a thing or two, and now he's back. He's back doing.
Leave my guy alone. We're not talking basketball.
Look, he's a great coach.
He is.
He just pushes the edge a little bit too much. And
yeah, I was gonna say, watch your phrasing.
Louisville has never rebounded since firing Slick Rick. Maybe I
think they're going to be all right this year.
I think they're going to be very. I love Pat Kelsey.
Yeah,
Pat Kelsey's fantastic.
All right, it's football season.
It is football. Louisville also. We're going to do Fitz the Bill's official. What I'm going to do is the Fitz the Bill official preseason ACC rankings pre-media day. And then I'm going to revisit them on Friday later this week.
Based on how people talk to you?
Based on the vibes I got at ACC Media Day.
What a great way to kind of figure it out.
So, like, we'll probably have some big moves. Like, I have this tendency with if a player's nice, if a coach is nice, all of a sudden I'm the biggest fan of them. I want them to win. So we'll see. Let's say Cal's coach is going to be nice, and I'm going to be like, I think they're going to win it all.
Maybe that's what they did for the SEC Media Day. That's why everybody's so high on Texas.
Arch Manning had one good scrum.
No, he was a great interview.
Yeah, they were like, I want to see him succeed.
You got to root for the guy. He's so humble.
I don't get why Steve Sarkisian also is like thought of as like this mastermind coach when he's not won anything.
Well, I think the thing with Sark is each time he's come into a program, what they've asked of him, he's made it better, right? Like USC was on the outs pretty much. He came in. If it wasn't for the alcohol, who knows? But they were looking like a better program, right? Yeah. They were moving up. He leaves from there. When he comes back to college, he inherits Alabama, but offensively is what he was responsible for. And Alabama was kind of, they were okay, but they were not necessarily that great. Then they got Lane Kiffin, and then it was like, well, where do they go now? Sarkisian comes in, and believe it or not, I believe they got better. And he had a couple Heisman winners. Well, not a couple, but he had a Heisman winner, and it was a wide receiver. And I think people were hype about that. He goes to Texas, another team that's kind of on the decline.
Yeah.
And he's made them consistently better. So I think that's why people are so optimistic about him as far as the college level. NFL level, I thought his tenure with the Falcons was awful as an offensive coordinator, but in college, I think he's worthy of the optimism, but I would definitely hesitate on the outright praise because, like you said, he hasn't won anything.
His outright praise is like it is. It is reaching as a head coach. It is reaching. It is reaching a height that it should not be at.
But you know what, though?
But hey, he's a preseason champion, baby.
The guy went to Alabama. He went to Tuscaloosa. I got to give him credit for this one thing.
Give credit where it's due.
They hosted Bama, and they should have won. They got cheated in that game. I was there. They turn around the very next year. They go to Tuscaloosa. They make no excuses, and they smoked them. Like, they took them out back and whipped them good. So it's like, you got to give him credit. He came in and, a lot of coordinators go up against Nick Saban, don't win against him. Yeah. He seemed to have had his number.
That Smart still hasn't.
Yeah.
And I think
that was also part of the mystique. Because you get Nick Saban win under your belt. Doesn't matter whether it was a scrimmage or a regular season game or even in a bowl game.
Yeah.
That's something you can hang your hat on.
Yeah. So Texas's predicted order of finish. They are number 1 predicted champion. Behind them, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, South Carolina. So South Carolina getting a little love as well. Not sure if that's fully deserved, but
dangerous game to play. South Carolina and Penn State, they're the same.
They are the same team.
Yeah, when it comes to that preseason
Beamer.
stuff.
I love Shane Beamer. He's recruiting a 5-star out of St. Christopher's very heavily right now. He's landed in Darius Gray's top 5, doing great jobs. I love South Carolina, but it is dangerous to have high expectations for the Gamecocks coming into a season because they probably will let you down. They'll lose a game they shouldn't lose. They'll win a game they shouldn't win, and it has you believe. And they'll win the game that they shouldn't win at the end of the season, giving you hope for the next year.
Yeah,
like the Tennessee beatdown in 2022 or 2023, where everyone was like, "Oh, if that team can just figure things out going into next season, they'll be dangerous."
You got to make that fringe argument. They should have been in the playoff.
They should have. Their 4 losses, they were up by 1 score or less. And, Indiana didn't have that. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's update you with what you may have missed in the weekend of sports. A lot happening around the wide world of sports. Here's the sports update.
This is your Fitz The Bill morning update. Getting you on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right, so Scotty Scheffler, he got a step closer to the career Grand Slam, won his 4th major at Royal Portrush yesterday.
The champion golfer, Scotty Scheffler. He felt in his career, and you certainly felt today it was only a matter of time before he claimed the greatest prize in golf.
Scheffler finished 17 under, won with a 4-stroke lead over Harris English in the Open Championship. President Donald Trump went to Truth Social yesterday and said, quote, "I may put a restriction on them if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders. I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. The team would be much more valuable and the deal would be more exciting for anyone." Now, this adds an additional layer to what was already an interesting thing going on with the RFK deal, as the D.C. Council still works their, quote, due diligence on the $3.7 billion deal. In the wake of Lloyd Howell Jr. resigning as the NFLPA executive director, NFLPA Chief Strategy Officer J.C. Tretter is resigning as well and has now taken himself out of consideration for the NFLPA's interim executive director position. He said, quote, "Over the last couple of days, it has gotten very hard for my family." He went on to say, "I have no interest in being the executive director. I have no interest in being considered. I've let the executive committee know that." Denny Hamlin yesterday won up in Delaware at Dover after a rain delay. He returned to the track, picked up his 4th win of the season.
Winning here in Dover is super special to me. This is a place that I've not been very good at the first half of my career, and then have back-to-back here over the last few years is amazing.
You and I talked about that this morning. This was a place that was your worst racetrack for decades. I'll go out on a limb and say that. Is there any racetrack you worked harder on to get better at than Dover?
Well, I just studied some of the greats here. I was very fortunate to have Martin Truex as a teammate. Jimmy Johnson, watching him win 10 times here. You learn from the greats and you change your game to to match it, and you have success like this.
In the MLB, the Padres beat the Nats in D.C. 8-1. Orioles got a 5-3 road win over the Rays to avoid the sweep. Phillies fell 8-2 to the Angels. The Yankees take care of the Braves 4-2. New York won the series 2-1. And the Mets picked up a 3-2 win over the Reds. In the Yankees win, Aaron Judge blasted his 351st home run, tying Alex Rodriguez's mark in a Yankees uniform. And in the NBA, Marcus Smart was bought out by the Wizards. He'll join the Lakers. Reports are that the Clippers are eyeing Chris Paul now to bolster their already veteran lineup. That's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports. We'll get a break in here, talk a little Scotty Scheffler and his win at the Open.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Your trash is treasure at CNC Colored Recycling. From copper wire to radiator ends, cans to lead batteries, CNC Colored Recycling will pay cash or check for your unwanted scrap metal. No load is too large or too small. Don't dump it, recycle it, and get paid at CNC Colored Recycling, just south of Maple Street on Route 1 in Ashland. Free local container service is available too. CNC Colored Recycling, open every weekday and a half day on Saturday. Check the latest cash scrap prices online right now at cccullet.com. That's CCCULLET.
Golf season is here at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. Plan your next golf outing for your kids' athletic team, church group, or fundraiser online at huntinghawk.com. That's huntinghawk.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Oh, I love this scene.
Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this.
Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone, or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down, because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of gold unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
106.1 ESPN traffic.
For those of you traveling south on 95, we are seeing some heavy traffic between Bryant Park Interchange and Arthur Ashe Boulevard, as well as between Chamberlain Avenue and Hermitage Road. Taking a look at 95 northbound, we're also seeing some backup between the 64 Merge and Lombardy Street overpass, and expect delays heading north on East Main Street between Orland Street and Dock Street.
From Richmond and beyond, Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN breaks down Virginia sports like nobody else. Bold opinions, zero sugarcoating. Tune in.
Scotty Scheffler yesterday picked up his 4th career major win. He's one major win away from a career Grand Slam. Looking to get that U.S. Open. He'll have a chance again next year, as he's won the Masters, the PGA Championship, and now the Open Championship. And he did it quite dominantly yesterday with a 4-stroke win. Never really felt like it was in doubt. And Scotty Scheffler, the numbers are starting. You can project things out and see where he'll stack up. And this isn't a conversation about Scotty Scheffler is the next coming of Tiger Woods. It's not that at all. There's Tiger Woods, there's Jack, there's all of that. But Scheffler is on the correct trajectory to go down as one of the greatest of all time. One of the greatest of all time. And the big reason is because Scotty feels inevitable. He is great. We are getting to watch greatness every single weekend. And the reason it feels like he is right behind Tiger Woods is because Scotty feels inevitable. This is a stat from The Athletic. Scheffler has won 10 straight tournaments in which he has had a 54-hole lead. Now, Tiger Woods' longest streak was 36, but winning 10 straight tournaments when you go into the final day with a lead just feels inevitable, a feeling we have not had since Tiger Woods would dress up in his Sunday Reds, and that meant here comes the greatest of all time. Even Jim Bones Mackey, Phil Mickelson's old caddy, said after the tournament on NBC's coverage, quote, "I never thought I'd see a player as close to Tiger as this man currently is." It's a complete fool's errand to compare Scotty Scheffler to the greatest golfer to ever do it, but he is the greatest golfer since Tiger Woods. And I don't think that is insane to say. And I don't think it's particularly close.
Yeah, I'm running out of things to hate on him for. And it's always just the personality, how he projects. I feel like the face of
boring.
a league.
He is boring.
Yeah, no, and this isn't just golf, because I had the same issue with Jokic. The face of the league in the sense of like championships and winning.
Yeah,
I feel like you should try to be an ambassador for the sport, right? Like I feel like you owe it to the sport to help the sport grow. You make your living off of this. The sport has done great things for you. The least you can do is give back, in the sense of not necessarily going out of your way to inspire, but don't paint the sport or what you do in a light that makes it seem like it's such a drag. And both of them do a great job of that. It's such a drag.
I think with Scotty, he's just being real about it. Like, he plays golf.
Lie to me, Scotty. Lie to me. Because golf is a sport that it needs people to speak kindly of it, right? Like I think there are certain sections of our country and the world where golf is viewed as something that's not for them.
Yeah.
And when people like Scotty get an opportunity to platform it and reach out to those people, I think he does a poor job at it. But that's the only complaint I got, because when it comes to golf, I've said this plenty of times. Like, it's like he's throwing the ball down the down the fairway, or throwing the ball on the green. Like, the precision is just so ridiculous. I saw a tweet yesterday. Somebody said he hit it into the bunker once just so he could feel something.
I mean, that even the weekend before at the Scottish Open, he was like first in every major statistical category. Then he was 108th in putting, so he didn't win the tournament. But
it's the only thing that stops him sometimes.
But I mean, even then, he's put Hao Tong Lee? I think it was Hao Tong Lee on Sunday. Yeah, that was his partner. Put it within 5 feet of the hole, and it was just like, that was a great shot. And then you know what Scotty did? Put it within 2 feet of the hole, and it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I guess you don't have to putt all that well when you're putting it from inside 24 inches.
Well, you would say that, but I think some people would agree. Like, when it comes to like Rory, the closer he is, it feels like the more likely he is to miss.
Well, Rory's just a head case.
Yeah,
and that was on
yips.
full display at the Masters. That dude is a complete head case.
Now, there's another underlining story here, and that is the shift to the Ryder Cup focus, right? Like, we got arguably the best golf. Not even an argument anymore.
We have the
best golfer in the world.
The best golfer in the world.
It's in America. I even seen Bryson DeChambeau talking about it early on. Like, he had some quotes about basically how like they have to win this. Like they want to win it. So I'm excited to see that. But I guess our rah-rah guy can't be Scotty. We got to find somebody else.
This is a stat that I just saw. Last 115 years, Scotty Scheffler is the only player to win his first 4 majors by 3 shots or more.
Yeah.
He's on pace by the time he's 38, where he could be right on the heels of Jack and Tiger in terms of number of majors.
I'm still gonna put an asterisk on him, because I'm like, he's not playing a full field sometimes.
He is,
but
he is
in the majors. He is
in the majors. But that's fair about his PGA Tour wins. He's not playing DeChambeau, Brooks,
it doesn't matter.
John Rahm.
He's like Rory said, that's the one thing I will give him credit for. He is the bar. That's the standard that everybody's trying to reach. that level of dominance.
He's even got like that killer mentality on the course. It's just when he steps off of the course, he becomes an energy vampire.
Yeah. And he's not against you. He's truly against himself. And I think that's the key to his consistency. I think a lot of times guys like Rory, they do let the outside noise get in their head, the expectations and things like that.
Scotty does not. Scotty, there's not a thought of what he is not thinking of anything outside of the course when he is between the lines.
And he's had the luxury too. I don't remember Scotty coming in with expectations of greatness. I think he came in with expectations of being good or a competitive golfer, but like Rory was supposed to be like the prodigal son. Like he was that guy when he came in. So at a very young age, same with I think Spieth and JT, even Ricky Fowler, that particular crop, like they came in with some hefty expectations on them early on. And I mean, it's a gift and a curse sometimes when you have that, because the mental aspect of golf, sometimes you're fighting two things. You're fighting the expectations that people put on you, and then your personal expectations of meeting those lofty expectations. But at the end of the day, you know, he's to win a British Open or the Open as an American golfer, to me, is always a feat, because it's just not.
It's not your event.
Yeah, it's not our event. It's not the course style that we're used to playing. Being from Texas and playing in the wind definitely helps him for sure. But like the elements of it, like how many times has he played in probably side blowing rain and things like that? And then the time difference and things.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah. So it's definitely one of the tougher ones to win, and I'm definitely happy for him.
I do want to say shout out Short Pump Corey, because he calls in before every major. He gives his 3 picks. He was right on Scheffler. Now, it's not necessarily that hard to be right on Scheffler, but he did give out Scheffler as one of his picks. He also had Tyrrell Hatton and Matt Fitzpatrick. So
I'll give credit.
A good trio.
I'll give credit to my friend too, who won. He won 5K in DraftKings by doing a lineup that did not include Scotty Scheffler.
Good
and
good stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to help him with that because obviously when you're doing daily fantasy, if everybody's picking him, then you're not making any ground up. But if you find a way to build something without him, you're in the 0.0001%. You're automatically going to keep gaining.
If you had a group of Haotong Lee, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tyrrell Hatton, Harris English, you probably would have made a lot of money.
And he had English and Hatton in there, and I think he might have had Fitzpatrick. I don't think he had Lee. We didn't go that far.
No, yeah. Haotong Lee will just randomly appear on a Sunday in a major championship in contention, and you're like, who is this guy?
I will tell you, I've won some money off of him as a prop bet before.
I think he plays on the
Asian tour.
The Asian tour, yeah.
So I've won some money on a prop bet. But that's usually around like the CJ and that turn in December.
Yeah.
When they do the Asian swing.
So Scheffler, the reason he is so great is because he is at this point inevitable.
Now, here's the other thing that, you know, again, doing this for sports talk radio, not necessarily that I believe in this, but he's got 3 of the 4 done. There's another guy who had 3 of the 4 done. And ironically,
it took him a decade to get his 4th.
Well, ironically, Phil never won the US Open. And that's probably going to go down. Like at this point, I think we can guarantee he's never going to win.
With 7 second-place finishes at one point,
yeah,
he had a 3-stroke lead in one of them and ended up losing by multiple strokes.
And I always put an asterisk on it because there was at one point he was playing like some of the best golf in the later portion of his life.
Yeah, sounds like he's dead.
I know, right? And I think he skipped it because his daughter was graduating or something like that. And I felt like that one year, that particular year, he had a really good chance of winning it. But you know, it's bigger than sports, and I'm not knocking him for it. But I'm just saying, like with Scotty Scheffler, I don't wish that on anybody, man. I don't wish anybody to have such an achievement be left incomplete.
It's a lot of signs are pointing in his favor because he is so young. I mean, he is my age, and he looks like he has the hairline of a 45-year-old.
Yes.
Not to throw Scotty under the bus or anything, but when I read that he was essentially my age, I was like, 2 things. 1, wow, has he overperformed what I have done by the same age? Secondly, bro needs to go to Turkey and needs to get a quick hair transplant because that hairline is running away from him in a hurry. But he's got so much time. If he continues on this same track, he'll be great. But like Rory got the first 3 at a young age, and it took him nearly a decade to win that Masters finally. So not a foregone conclusion that he'll ever have the career Grand Slam because he could just run into horrible luck time and time again. And that's the great thing about these majors. You only have one chance every year to do it. He's done it with 3 of them, and has 4 major wins in his back pocket. And it all comes down to winning on Sunday. 10 straight tournaments in which Scotty Scheffler has had a 54-hole lead that he has gone on to win. Tiger Woods' longest streak doing that was 36, but Scheffler is making Sundays feel inevitable. If he has a lead, it does not matter if it's by 1 stroke or 7 strokes. He's going to buckle down. He's going to do what he has to do, and he's going to win on Sunday. All right, we'll be back. A little news or snooze coming up right here on 106.1 ESPN.
It's the annual RVA Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival, Saturday, July 26th at the Meadow Event Park. Tickets online at beerandbourbon.com.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Summertime in RVA means Richmond Kickers soccer games at City Stadium. Family fun, food trucks, and men's soccer action on the field. Tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147, or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
This is Joe and Q. What I do like about the Jets, not just the signings, not just the culture that Aaron Glenn is trying to create, we haven't heard anything about them. We haven't heard how great they're going to be and how they've got the greatest quarterback, or they got this, or they've got that. The organizations that are the best ran in the league are the ones that aren't making a lot of noise. The noise that they're making is, we just signed Garrett Wilson. We just signed Sarge Gardner. And now we're going to go about our business with training camp around the corner.
Joe and Q, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
Taking a look at today's weather forecast, it's currently 77 degrees and cloudy with a low today of 75 and a high of 86. The sun is expected to poke out around 9 a.m. and stay out for a little bit in the morning, followed by cloud coverage for the rest of the afternoon. You can expect high humidity today, ranging from 90 to 70%, and a slight breeze with gusts of wind up to 13 miles per hour.
Hey, Richmond, this is Joe Simpson. There's only one place in the 804 to stay up to date on all things Atlanta Braves, and that's 106.1 ESPN.
What a song. What a song. Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill rolling right along on this Monday morning ACC Media Day week. We cannot wait to get down to Charlotte, North Carolina to cover everything that's going on in the ACC. I'm excited to hear from Jim Phillips and his thoughts on this whole college football playoff refiguring and everything like that. He's bound to have some great conversations. Matt will be in attendance at that press conference because it's the one press conference that happens during my show.
Well, I will say Jim Phillips has given several like head scratching sound bites,
and we're gonna get some more. We're gonna get some more. So, Jim, how do you think? Well, I think, and then we're just gonna go from there, and then hopefully some of his comments will be used for news or snooze.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on the spread though. I don't like how I feel like they treat football better than basketball with the food
and the timing of everything. You were texting me, you were like, if you don't want to do your show, that's fine. I know they start early, and I was like, no, they start at like 10.
which is crazy because I know for a
and
fact.
You're like, oh
yeah, last year I went down there for basketball, and Big Al was doing this show from 8 to 10, and I think I could finally call in around like the 9:30-ish time.
Nope, we are wide open.
And even then I had to step out of the meeting with Coach Young. I think Coach Young went first. So I had to step out of that for a second, do a call in, and then come back. That's crazy that they don't start till 10 now.
And we got good food. We have a snack break at 3 p.m.
See, that's insane.
We got our football gets treated better.
No, forget that, man. ACC is supposed to be a basketball conference.
Not anymore. You see what they did at March Madness this last year? Although UVA is going to turn the corner with Odom, and they got that like European guy who's got 2 years of eligibility. I can't even pronounce his name. Like Tijda Ritter. He was a star at the European Euro basketball, and now he's coming over here to get his college degree.
Interesting.
Casually. That makes sense.
Well, look, I saw.
Yeah, but UVA fans don't have a problem with that. Sorry.
I saw I think an article where like somebody's got a 30-year-old college football player on their team.
Something,
it's stupid. So
man.
yeah, do what you got today. There's no real rules or regulations on
You're
that.
right,
Eligibility is eligibility, and that was like that before NIL.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. But it's just wild that you're 30 and you're like, you know what I want to do? Play college sports.
Yeah,
go to LinkedIn. get a job. If you're 30 and still playing college sports, look, professional sports ain't for you.
If I had 2 good ACLs and I thought I could make it through the
season?
Training camp part of it, I'd give it a shot. Like my guy from Miami, he played 9 seasons.
And he did not have 2 working ACLs by the end.
Yeah, I think I got at least a semester of eligibility left.
All right, there we go. All right, we got 3 headlines and storylines from around the world of sports. We'll share if they're newsworthy or snoozeworthy. Take it away.
News or snooze.
Number 1, United WNBA All-Stars wear Pay Us What You Owe Us shirts. This is newsworthy. So this isn't like some people saw this and social media was set ablaze with people. They don't make money. They shouldn't even be getting paid. This is blah, 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 blah. Well, this isn't really what their argument is. They decided to come together and wear these shirts that they decided on the day of the game. Pay us what you owe us. And currently, as it stands in the current collective bargaining agreement for the WNBA, players receive less than 10% of the league's gross revenue. For comparison's sake, the NBA, NFL, NHL, all other MLB, all other major American sports, not the MLB, with a hard salary cap, they get 50%, roughly 50% of the league's gross revenue. For the WNBA, they receive less than 10% of the league's gross revenue. And what the argument is, and what they are saying in Pay Us What You Owe Us, is that in 2026, in less than 365 days, there will be a brand new media rights deal, which will go from $45 million a year to, you know how much per year? $200 million per year. Just an overnight shift from 45 million to 200 million. An overnight shift that will take the WNBA from being in the red every year to being in the green, regardless of what happens with merch sales, ticket sales, and other things like that. Just to keep you guys in the loop, as we all know, between now and 2030, there will be 5 additional WNBA teams coming into the league. Each one has to pay what? $100 to $200 million in a franchise fee, which is additional revenue coming into the league as well. And as the current CBA lays things out, WNBA players make under 10% of the league's revenue, regardless of its $45 million a year, $200 million a year with that TV deal. And when that TV deal goes into effect, they're going to go from being in the red to being in the green quite literally overnight. And with that under 10% revenue split, the new salary cap would go from $1.507 million to $4 million. To $4 million, that would be the entire salary cap for a team. The argument that they are saying in pay us what you owe us is not that we should be being paid the same amount as the men on a yearly basis. It's that the CBA needs to be revised, and it is very important that they do an amendment or something to the CBA, because I don't think it's up until 2030-ish. It needs to be revised to adjust that and increase the players' percentage to about 40-50%, how it is set up in the NBA. Because for numbers' sake, if the league salary cap was around 40 to 50%, or the league revenue split was around 40 to 50%, like the NBA, the salary cap would go from $1.5 million to $17.2 million, which is a huge jump. And it's a jump that would still be less than a single season of Jaden McDaniels. And that's an entire team's cap. So the argument isn't pay us the same as men. The argument is WNBA players should receive the same gross revenue split that the NBA and other leagues are doing. And in less than 365 days, a new TV deal will go into place, making the league more profitable and making it where they can give the players more money. And that needs to happen. And so revenue share should be more. And it's newsworthy that the WNBA All-Stars on the day of the game decided to wear the pay us what you owe us shirts. Set social media. It set everything ablaze. But at the core of what they are arguing, it makes a lot of sense. And they are being kind of undercut in their league revenue split at the WNBA. Under 10% of the league's revenue. That is what, 40% less than what the NBA players are making, just a lot less there for them. All right, number 2, Tyler Smith on the Cowboys' expectations. Tyler Smith, the Cowboys offensive lineman, said their expectations, Super Bowl champions. This is, come on, man.
Haven't heard that one before.
Also, and I know we're in the season of best shape of our lives, which is my least favorite season of college football, of NFL. We're about to get reports. He's been lifting weights all off season. Insert running back is in best shape of their lives. Come on, man. Come on. This is the time of the year where we hear, the Las Vegas Raiders, they have Super Bowl expectations.
I'm not messing with the Raiders. I got fussed at before about that.
Sorry. The Miami Dolphins have Super Bowl expectations. Yeah, everyone has Super Bowl expectations on July 21st. Could you imagine if it would be newsworthy if Tyler Smith came into the room and said, you know what? We're just hoping to have a winning record this year. Now, granted, that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers say every year. They don't have Super Bowl expectations. The Pittsburgh Steelers come in every year and go, we just want a winning record. That would be the newsworthy thing if Tyler Smith said that. Instead, he goes, we want to be Super Bowl champions. Yeah, you and 31 other teams at this point. You all have expectations. You all think you're a good team.
It is very cliche, but like you said, it's weird. It'd be more newsworthy and weirder if he didn't say that. But also, what is he supposed to say?
What is he supposed to say? And good for you, man. Sure, you have high expectations. You're going to be let down by week 4 of the season when you realize Brian Schottenheimer's a bad head coach. When you realize, now the offense might actually be good with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, but that backfield's pretty bad. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The Tyler Smith, the Cowboys have Super Bowl expectations. Yeah, sure, I guess. All right, number 3. This is a column from the Washington Post. No joke, Chinese rookie Young Hansen is the NBA's biggest summer star. Newsworthy. We all piled on when Young Hansen was taken. We all were like, what is this guy? He was rated as the 40th best prospect. There was no way that he was going in the first round. And he balled out in the summer league. He balled out in the summer league. Now, you can make fun of it for all you want.
I am.
But Zach Lowe on his show, the Zach Lowe Show, was reporting that if the Trailblazers didn't take him, he was going to go in the first round regardless around that spot. Teams were very high on the Chinese Jokic.
That's not what was reported when he got picked up.
Look, it's being reported.
Yeah, now it's being reported.
Look, you know why it wasn't reported when he got picked up? Because everyone that would have reported that were in war rooms drafting, going, man, Young Hansen got taken. So pretty interesting. Young Hansen, summer league superstar, looking like it was a good pick from the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, they didn't have to give up much to get him, unlike the New Orleans Pelicans, who had to give up an unprotected pick next year to go out and get Derek Queen. But,
yeah, so here's my other thing about that too. Typically, when you're lighting it up in summer league, you know what happens? They sit you.
He needed the experience.
Oh, okay, he needed the experience.
Speaking of NBA Summer League, my Charlotte Hornets, baby, Summer League champions. Don't count us out now. We're coming.
Bruce, this is not a reason for you to call and counter that craziness with your craziness of the 76ers. Both of you need to go somewhere and sit down.
Look, I would, because living in Charlotte, I started following a lot of Charlotte like news people and sports people. Their reaction to the Hornets winning the NBA Summer League last night was objectively hilarious. They were like, look, we haven't had a winner in Charlotte for years. Let us enjoy this. They're like, we know this means nothing, but let us enjoy it.
I agree, man. Celebrate a little bit.
So I'm excited to get down to the Queen City tonight and see them hanging the banner from Bank of America Stadium.
They're gonna have a procession, not an actual parade.
A procession.
Go for it.
But I was like, yeah, good for them. Like, you guys enjoy it. You guys haven't had hope in your basketball team for forever. There's never been hope in the Charlotte Hornets Bobcats tenure. And they finally have a little bit of hope with Con Knippel and Kalkbrenner and all of that. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Espo on line one. Good morning, Espo. How are we doing?
Hey, good morning. Just a real quickie fun fact and no and tell about the WNBA. Their current CBA, like every other professional CBA, has a revenue escalator clause, which allows them to get more money if they get more revenue. So I'm not sure what they're griping about.
The way it's set up now is that they will not be similar to the NBA when they have this extra revenue coming into the league.
Well, it's probably because they're not similar to the NBA.
But they will be getting that more revenue when it comes in, going from 45. They will be a profitable business next season, though.
Well, maybe. I mean, you have 5 new teams that come into the league, and the attendance has gone up because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and a whole host of other little mini controversies. But if that doesn't sustain itself, I mean, there's no reason to believe that league is comparable in any way to an NBA or an NFL with 40 or 50 years of history. I mean, I don't blame the league for not wanting to go in all in here. I mean, basically the players have a pair of deuces and they want the league to go all in. Why don't they wait and see? Of course, they have an agreement in place that allows them to get more money based upon how they do in revenue. I don't know what the gripe is.
But the NBA,
it's just let's get on TV.
The NBA back in the day when they were a fledgling league trying to make the come up, they were still doing about a 40 to 50% gross revenue split while they were unprofitable.
Right. And their finals were on tape delay in 1978. Is that? I mean,
yeah, but they were making 40% in revenue. They were making, like, let's use 40% as the number. They were making 40% gross revenue split.
Well, that was an average, but it was always based upon the team contract. The CBA, with this escalator clause, relatively new event. I mean, NFL's had it, but NBA got it. But I just think they got to crawl before they can walk. It's a good league for people who like to watch it. People seem to enjoy it, and I'm tickled to death. I hope they do well. But for them to come out and make a public statement, let me ask you something. You ever negotiated something with somebody and then go out in public with your complaints and had a successful negotiation? I never have.
I've never had to be in a negotiation, so I can't comment on that one.
Only if I've got leverage.
Well, and they got a pair of deuces. That's the problem. And they need to kind of back it down a notch, let their lawyers do the job. And they put something in to protect them. It's not like the lawyers are idiots. They knew there'd be revenue, and they took care of it. It starts to look like greed at some point if you're just not willing to live with the deal you signed. So good luck to them, and we'll see what happens. I'm usually on labor's side in these disputes, but in this particular one, I don't know.
Those are valid points. Appreciate your calling in, Espo. I'm going to dive into that escalator clause a little bit and see kind of where that lies. the crux of my thing is why not have them be at 40%, even at like,
No, I see
know
both sides.
That didn't make sense with what I just said, but I'm glad you got what I was saying.
Yeah, I see both sides of it. I also, believe it or not, am on the hesitant side with Espo. Because I want the sport to stay, and I don't want people to get too greedy about it.
That's true.
I feel like there needs to be an understanding that this is a starting point. It's not our goal, but this is a starting point, and it needs to be reasonable for the players, and it needs to be reasonable for the league. And I feel like both sides are being unreasonable about that expectation that at some point, two sides of this coin, they both need to be satisfied with what's going on. And I know there was a report about them sitting down, trying to hash it out in person, and that dissolved very quickly. And for something like we're getting very close to the deadline of when they're going to start talking about a lockout and things like that. I feel like there just needs to be a little bit more like reasonable expectations about how this is going to go. So I see what you're saying about the percentage, and I see what Espo's saying as well. I don't know anything about their current CBA, their current clause or whatever, so I'll have to do some research on that too. But at the end of the day, both sides need to figure it out for the growth of the game, man. Like that's the real issue here. The game is growing. They need to sustain it. Do not kill it by being greedy.
That's valid. And I think both need to kind of realize that on both sides of it all, because maybe the players take a step back, but the WNBA is being greedy by bringing in 5 franchises, charging $250 million per. Like maybe a thing they could have done there instead was doing more of a revenue split, giving them more so they would have had higher in a salary cap and could have expanded roster sizes rather than just bringing in 5 new franchises, bringing in $1 billion+ in revenue.
The only product that we have in American sports right now that should be expanding is the NFL, in my opinion. I don't think the NBA should expand. I definitely don't think the WNBA should have expanded, but so far, expand your roster to keep some of these talented players like in the league. I think that was the issue, that the rosters can only be but so big.
Yeah.
But as far as like more teams, I don't think you needed that, right? Like baseball doesn't need it either. So in a sense, my initial thought when I saw like there's like 5 new teams coming in, that's greedy. You're right. I think that's greedy. I think that's crazy, all things considered, unless you're strategically putting them in markets where you know they want to see these women play basketball, like the Valkyrie. They are booming because people want to see those games, and that's fine. It's not star power. It's the fact they like to see the women play basketball. If you're doing that strategically, that's fine. But we've seen Detroit. We've seen some of these other spots where it didn't work. You're trying to put a team in Canada too. Like your Canadian NBA team doesn't necessarily boom like that. So what are we doing?
Yeah, it's interesting. They're biting off a lot.
Yeah. And you have to travel to Canada. You already have issues traveling in America.
Yeah, like, come on. We're adding international flight to all of this.
Yeah.
I will say I'm doing a quick dive into the CBA right now that the WNBA and WNBA-PA have signed. I don't think there's an escalator clause in here.
I would be shocked if something of that nature was in that language so early, because this is a dated agreement between them.
Yeah, and I think so who with it all, like, it is so murky, and it is, I think there's an additional layer to it where like the WNBA is part of the NBA, so there's money coming in there. For me, at the end of the day, if the league wants to be greedy by adding 5 extra teams in locations that the players don't necessarily want, then I think the players are allowed to be a little greedy and ask for 40% of the revenue split, of gross revenue split, something the NBA was doing 40 years ago when the NBA wasn't a profitable business. They're making $200 million in just media rights. Everything else is going up. A little revenue split. They could do that revenue split, and the WNBA would still be profitable even after that because of the large influx of cash that's coming in with this media rights deal.
I think they still should view or look into doing a different business model where they
maybe that's the solution.
Yeah, where you kind of run an abbreviated season or keep your season like it is, but run it kind of counter to the NBA. So essentially we can get a WNBA game and an NBA game around the same timeline. So the NBA sometimes has like 2 to 3 day splits. when they play games, like play the WNBA in between those 2 to 3 day splits.
Oh, so
we
you're
get
saying
continuous basketball. Because at the end of the day,
but what they want, and Kathy Engelbert and Adam Silver have both been outspoken about this. They want basketball year round.
Yeah.
And because the WNBA is the owner of the NBA, excuse me.
Yeah,
It'd be funny
I
if
get
the
it.
WNBA was the owner of
Yeah, right.
because they're the same entity. They're saying, well, we can finish up our season and it goes right into the WNBA season. And then we can ride that through the summer. And then when that concludes, NBA's ramping
And
up.
I think that's short-sighted because the average sports fan and sports consumer of sports does not view women's basketball like they view men's basketball. Now, if you put them in conjunction with each other, working together, then you might change that perception. But as long as they stay separate like this, it's like the USFL and the NFL. Like, we don't view that the same.
The general sports fan, even sicko hardo sports fans, don't want summer sports.
Yeah.
Like, I just think there's not a huge appetite because everyone wants a little off time and to not be tuned into their phone. So I think the WNBA being in the summer too negatively impacts it.
I think they really should consider that too as well, like a business model change.
It could be a business model change, could be something, but as of right now, I am happily on the island of WNBA players should be being paid more. I'm not saying they need to be paid triple, quadruple their salary, but there should be a little bit more of a revenue split with the WNBA players and the WNBA itself. Because as of right now, the fact that they get less than 10% of the league's revenue is head scratching to me, especially when the NBA was losing money for years and they were still having a 40 to 50% revenue split. All right, more coming up. Hour number 2.
Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily 3 to 4 p.m. pit stop for unfiltered sports takes, statewide debate, and no-holds-barred analysis. Richmond's game, Matt's Lane. Don't miss it.
Serving Richmond and beyond for over 20 years, Bon Air Shell features a full line of automotive services. Check out bonairshell.com, loaded with coupons, specials, and more to see all that they can do for your car and your peace of mind. And now with their Fuel Rewards program, you can save at least 5 cents per gallon on every fill-up. Learn more at fuelrewards.com. Go see the team at Bon Air Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to bonairshell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of gold unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
Braves fans, stay locked. Game day coverage on W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV HD2 Richmond. Swing for the fences on 106.1 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill. Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside. Thank you for listening on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, the ESPN Richmond app, or ESPNRichmond.com. and appreciate you if you're watching on our stream on YouTube. Thank you for being part of the show there. If you want to watch on YouTube, just type in ESPN Richmond in the search bar. We'll pop right on up and you can watch live, comment, subscribe, be part of the show over there. And you can also subscribe and follow along with all things Fitz the Bill on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Fitz the Bill, ESPN, RVA, all one word on all of those platforms. And if you want to be part of the show here in hour number 2, 804-327-0888. I do want to quickly touch on the WNBA, what we were talking about right before we ended the first hour, where the WNBA current collective bargaining agreement ends on October 31st, 2025. So at the end of this season, there's a potential work stoppage coming. And this is because the players last year in October decided to opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement, which was set to expire in 2027. They decided to opt out of it. It ran through the end of 2025. So we are coming up quick, about 3 months that the NBA, the WNBA, and the WNBA-PA have to work together on a new collective bargaining agreement. So maybe we'll see an escalator in there, because I do not think there was one when they signed it back in 2020, right around COVID. So interesting stuff. We'll keep it monitoring it as we roll towards a potential work stoppage in the WNBA, which would be cataclysmic for both the players and the association itself as well. All right. Also, here at the top of hour number 2, want to let you guys know that ESPN Richmond and Fitz the Bill, proud to be a sponsor for the Virginia Council of CEOs Fall Leaders Conference. That's happening on September 25th, 2025. Check out the link in our Instagram bio at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA to get your tickets. Use code FITZ, FITZ, at checkout. It is September 25th, an awesome event open to business owners, executives, and their teams. Ross Bernstein as well. He was a guest on the show last week talking about some of the books he has written. He is going to be the keynote speaker, a best-selling author of over 50 books. So that's the Virginia Council of CEOs Fall Leaders Conference on September 25th. Mark your calendars. Get your tickets now. And here is start hour 2. I do want to talk about President Donald Trump and his comments the other day when it comes to the Washington Commanders' potential name change. I don't even think potential is the right word, because it's not happening. But President Donald Trump went to Truth Social, the social media platform he owns, and said, quote, "I may put a restriction on them as in the Washington Commanders." He referred to them as the Washington whatevers at one point. He said, "I may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington." He went on to say the team would be much more valuable and the deal would be more exciting for everyone. I mean, what was it, Alan? They just sold for $6 billion.
$6 billion.
So the human mind.
I don't understand how much more profitable they could be. I think that was a record for
like
a North American franchise at the time.
Not to get all nerdy here, but I tend to get a little nerdy sometimes. The human mind literally cannot comprehend billion. We are incapable of it. And Washington got 6 of those to buy the team. You know what I mean?
$800 million is what he paid for it. I think they had like upwards to about $200 million in debt at the time he bought it, and he sold it for a profit of $6 billion on his end.
Okay, so
6.5 or 6.05 or something like that.
So a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of freaking money. And like
we would consider that a win.
What's the difference between 6 billion and 10 billion? Like, in all honesty, probably nothing.
I mean,
you ain't
for
spending
a
that
billionaire,
money.
probably nothing.
You ain't spending that money. I can tell you that much. But so my main issue with this, I've got a couple main issues, actually. The first one is, why is the president of the United States caring about what a private company is doing? Like, why is that? There are so many things happening in our world, happening everywhere. I do not want my president caring about what some NFL franchise is doing or not doing with their name. That's first. Secondly, the name change should not happen. And if you are arguing that it should happen, I would love to hear why you think the name should go back to the Washington Redskins. People argue all the time, Well, Native Americans like it. Well, you can't, one, speak for an entire group of people. Sure, some may like it, some don't like it. And there was this thing called NAGA, the Native American Guardians Association, that was founded in 2017. They're a nonprofit that is, quote, done to help secure the heritage of Native Americans, something along those lines. They've got a little bit of a dicey past. And they were one of the main proponents of keeping the name back when they were thinking about changing it. They were founded in 2017. They even spoke at a hearing around whether or not they should change the name. And Sports Illustrated did a really good kind of deep dive, uncovered that a Snyder-founded foundation, so a foundation that Dan Snyder had his hand in, donated over $65,000 to the Native American Guardians Association right before they went into court and spoke out in favor of the Washington Redskins name. That seems a little interesting. Also, according to that Sports Illustrated report, some of the people, most of the founders, most of the quote-unquote board of directors for NAGA have loose to no direct connection to Native American heritage. So that's first. One of the main proponents in supporting the Washington Redskins name. There are a lot of question marks all around it. And then there's the NCAI. The NCAI stands for the National Congress of American Indians. They said they were, quote, encouraged by the decision to keep the Washington Commanders when at the time, the Commanders president, Jason Wright, said that a change back to the former name, this was a couple years ago, is, quote, not being considered, period, end quote. They then released a press release saying that they were encouraged by Washington's decision to leave the past behind. So with all of that in mind, why in the world do people want to change the name back? Like, what's the point? Genuinely, even if it's a minority that likes it, even if it's 50-50 between those that like it and those that don't, why keep that name if people do find it offensive? And there are racist communities out in the world that use the name in derogatory fashions. Why would you want to link your franchise to that in any way? Like, it just makes no sense to me. It's a team name at the end of the day. What matters is winning, not the name. And the team is winning with the Commanders. Let's focus on that. Why keep a name if people find it offensive? And now Trump is getting involved, saying that he'll block the RFK deal. I want nothing for whatever president it may be, Trump, Biden, whoever it is. I don't want you getting involved with private companies and where they decide to put their team stadium. Just get out of here. What are we doing? Like, come on, man.
I think John Keim said this, was it this past week or maybe the weekend before, on the John Keim report. He was talking about how he's actually a Guardians fan as well. So he went through
he's got the trifecta.
Yeah, so he went through the changes at the same time, and he said the transition from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians didn't seem that bad because they didn't change their color scheme or any of their stuff. They just changed the name and the logo.
They had already really kind of faded away from the Chief Wahoo, and they had adapted just the C, and so they could keep the C.
So he said that he thinks that sometimes people feel more passionate about the Redskins to Commanders because the Commanders not only changed the name, but they kind of changed like everything about it, like the color scheme and all that.
They went through a pretty aggressive rebrand, which is why this new throwback jersey is so important.
That's what I was going to say, which is what he was talking about as far as that topic, was that the throwback jersey is kind of like an olive branch to the folks who want to see that come back, but he doesn't think that it's coming back either. So
I also don't think it should. Like, it just that there is the people who are mostly in support of it is a Native American Guardians Association group that there is a money trail that has shown that a Snyder founded foundation donated a ton of money to them right before they spoke out in favor of it. The people on the board, the founders of this Native American Guardians Association, from this Sports Illustrated article, they found that a lot of them have loose to no direct connection to Native American heritage, and yet they are the ones a lot of people are pointing to as the reason why the name should change. And probably the one voice we should be listening to, if anything, about this is the National Congress of American Indians. I mean, they are encouraged with the Washington Commanders deciding to stay with the Commanders. And at the time, Commanders President Jason Wright saying, we're never going back, period. Josh Harris has even said that. It just seems like we waste so much time arguing whether or not they should go back to the name. Instead, let's appreciate what Jaden Daniels is doing. Let's appreciate the winning ways that the Commanders have and leave it at that. And then the president trying to get involved saying, I will block the RFK deal if they don't change their name back. We don't need the president trying to strong arm a private business to succumb to what he wants. And also, like, Trump was also the one back in 2013 that even tweeted something like, presidents shouldn't be getting involved in what NFL teams are named. And yet here he is now 12 years later doing exactly that. Just why in the end, like, look inward and ask yourself, why do I care so much about a name?
There's so many layers to it too. We'll see what, like, Josh Harris and these guys have navigated a lot of things the correct way.
They've done a great job.
We'll see, where they go as far as like their next move. I would still say, like, the first hurdle, even before we get to President Trump and Congress, is the city itself.
Yeah,
you gotta clear that. Then we got to get to Congress. So if anything, if I was Josh Harrison and them, I would just be like, all right, well, let's put this down as something we'll address later, because right now we got to convince the district itself, like, hey, this is worth your time.
Honestly, the district is upsetting me. I almost said a word I'm not allowed to say on air. No. It's really upsetting. Like, we're doing our due diligence. We plan to accept it, but we have to make sure that this historic private investment into our community in a place where there is nothing is good. What? Just look, I'm not in politics. I would just accept it. I mean, here's a private person saying, I will give you $2.5 billion to resurrect a portion of your city that has gone to ruins because no one is occupying this old stadium. I want to tear it down, rebuild it, refurbish the area with mixed-use development, parking garages, and a new stadium that will bring billions upon billions of dollars into the local economy by bringing the Women's World Cup, by bringing a Rugby World Cup, by bringing a Super Bowl. All of this. I want to do this for the community and invest 75% of the overall bill. I'll pay for. And the DC Council's like, we got to do our due diligence on this one, brother.
Yeah,
brother.
And I feel like the congressional side of things, I think they've addressed that already. I go back to that game where I was up there when they played Tennessee, like Jay-Z, Magic, and all those prominent folks. Adam Silver were in attendance at that game. And the very next Monday, there was a tweet out by Kyman and some of the insiders that they were meeting with people on Capitol Hill to potentially discuss moving the team back to DC.
Was that when the government gave ownership of the land back to DC?
It might have been around that same timeline, but like I said, I feel like they addressed a certain portion. I don't think they would have made a move to have this conversation even be brought up if they hadn't got warm feelings from people in play that control whether or not they come back. So if anything, maybe it's just a diversion. We get a lot of that in American sports and politics.
Did something big happen recently?
Something might have happened.
Something disappeared, I think, that was supposed to be there, but I think it disappeared. And
now
we're talking about his ankles instead and his thoughts on the Commanders.
So I just think at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of talk. I'm, as a sports fan, more focused on Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Terry McLaurin than the stadium.
I'm focused on Terry. I'm focused on the stadium. I'm focused on if the Washington Commanders have a chance at winning the NFC East this year.
I think on my priority list, the name is about 7th, but I'm not a fan. So.
Look, the name, I'm not a fan either. I grew up being, when you're a kid and you like it. They were my second team, right? Like I had a second team.
Never had that happen.
My mom is a fan, so I had to pick it up somehow. She thankfully did not impart the fandom on me. Rather, my family out in Seattle imparted the Seahawks fandom on me, which, thank goodness, I dodged a bullet there. Phew. Could have been years of misery. Instead, I got 2 Super Bowl appearances and a Super Bowl out of my fandom.
And you're still the butt of jokes.
All right, but how many Super Bowls have you won since 2000?
Who, me?
Yeah, 49ers.
None.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, it's crazy.
Where was I going with that? Oh, Washington Commanders, the name, not even on my list. Not even on my list. And still, like, we still refer to that era as the Washington Redskins era. So it's not like it's been erased from history.
Yeah.
We still are like, oh, when they were the Redskins.
Yeah.
Like, we're moving on. It's a new thing. Things move, things change, things evolve. And that's what we've been doing. That's what the Commanders have been doing. And the Commanders are doing it with Jaden Daniels at the helm. Jaden Daniels is the first good thing to happen to Washington football in the last 2.5 decades.
Yeah. Since
you had to think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
since the selling of the team, that's the best thing to happen to him.
and my oh my. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Be back. We're going to do our ACC preseason poll, the official Fitz the Bill ACC preseason poll, which will then be adjusted on Friday after ACC Media Day. So that's coming up right here on Fitz the Bill.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
KFC presents a story about the pursuit of flavor. When one executive told Colonel Sanders 4 Phillips boxes was too many, the Colonel decided he had one too many executives. Enjoy 4 KFC Phillips with original recipe fried chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, pie poppers, and a refreshing drink for $7 each. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC Phillips, just $7 each.
Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Oh, I love this scene. Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this.
Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down, because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. A premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
This is Joe Simpson with the Atlanta Braves, and when I'm on my road trip to D.C. and Baltimore, I always tune in to 106.1 ESPN Richmond for all my sports news. They've got you covered.
Pressure's raining down on Clemson. A lot of people have them number one in their ACC preseason polls. Probably because they don't really use the transfer portal. They don't really believe in the transfer portal. So a lot of their returning starters are back. They've got maybe the best coach in the ACC in Dabo Swinney. And they've just been a consistent force in the ACC over the last 10 years, a 71-10 record in the Atlantic Coast Conference. They are my number one team as well in my ACC pre-media days preseason poll. My preseason poll, some would say. Like my preseason poll, because this will be revised on Friday after I have an opportunity to talk with coaches and players alike.
Yeah, well, shoot, if it's based on talking to the coaches, you probably would keep Dabo at number one. He's a good talker, man.
Hickory dickory dock.
Yeah, he'll get you inspired.
Look, I think Clemson will stay there, even if Dabo is really mean and whatever it is. Like Clemson will stay number one. They just, I'm very high on them. I think the way they finished out last year, Cade Klubnik had a resurgent third year as the guy down in Clemson. I think they will be a very good football team.
Let's see, schedule wise, they've got their toughest ACC games are at home. Yep. So that's Duke, a positive.
Not Duke. SMU at home, Florida State at home. Their toughest game on the season is home against LSU to start the year off. At Georgia Tech might be sneaky tough, but it's a pretty nice schedule. They start at LSU, home against Troy. Their ACC openers at Georgia Tech, Syracuse bye week. Then they have back-to-back road games at UNC, at Boston College, home against SMU, bye week. Then it's homecoming against Duke, Florida State, road game against Louisville. That might be difficult on a short-ish week, Friday. Then Furman at home, at South Carolina to finish it out.
So I think South Carolina is their toughest game. Just because of the rivalry and the fact that it's on the road. And that is
fair.
That is the perfect Clemsoning game right there. It's like
they have one loss going into it. They look like they're a college football lock. They fall by 25 points, and it makes them have to win the ACC title to get into the college football playoff. That's how you foresee it going for the Tigers down there against the Gamecocks in Columbia. I could see that. My number two team, though, is Miami. Call me crazy. Miami probably will end up falling in games it shouldn't fall in, just because that is exactly what Mario Cristobal does in every single one of his seasons.
Absolute worst game manager in college football.
But here's the thing. They start their season with 4 straight home games, then have a bye week, then are on the road against Florida State. Between August 31st, when the season starts, and October 25th, they have one road game. That lines up very well to start the season. Absolutely red hot. Then they finish the season with a bit of a sprint with Stanford. Not really Stanford. That's home against Stanford. But at SMU will be tough. Home against Syracuse. Home against NC State. At Tech. At Pitt. I mean, that's a pretty favorable schedule for Miami, where if Cristobal doesn't have them in the front row seat of the ACC with a chance at the college football playoff, his days may be numbered in Coral Gables.
I don't know if they move away from him. I don't know if
his feet would heat up.
Yeah,
That's what
heat
I'm
up.
saying.
Yeah, I don't know if the urgency's there for them, but oh man.
But this schedule just lines up so well. Between August 31st and October 25th, you have one road game. You have 2 bye weeks. I mean, you need to start this season 7-0.
They're gonna get. Oh well, they're definitely not starting 7-0. Notre Dame's gonna throttle them.
They're a real college football bona fide team. They got to start 7-0.
I don't even care if they're bona fide, man. That Notre Dame team is gonna be really good, and they're just, as a program, I think they're just better.
They're better coached. They're better everything.
Yeah, but
home against Notre Dame,
I would even say there's a good chance that they start out 2-2.
You think? Wow, with their wins being Bethune-Cookman and USF, with their losses being Notre Dame and Florida.
Yeah, I think even Florida might be able.
Florida's
to
a sneaky team. Florida's a sneaky team.
Yeah. So those would be two danger areas. I would be very confident that they can't win for all four.
All four?
Yeah.
All right. Number 3 for me is SMU.
Should have been number 1.
You like SMU that
love
much.
SMU.
You like SMU that much.
I love SMU that much, and I hate Clemson that much.
Wow.
But no, I'm joking.
Wow. No.
I don't think they should have been number 1. They have to earn it. They have to show and prove it.
I think they have a very capable team, and they could very well find themselves winning the ACC. But after the showing last year in the college football playoff, where Kevin Jennings threw like 7 interceptions or something like that.
Yeah, that was an awful.
And they still
game.
were kind of in it there up until the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with Kevin Jennings, anything's possible with them. He is a very, very, very good quarterback.
He's a sneaky Heisman candidate, like a dark horse. If everything falls into play, obviously for him, they've got to win all their games or win the majority of their games.
They probably can lose one ACC game, but
statistically, I think he can put up the numbers that make you confident that he could be a sneaky candidate. SMU is still, I would say, about 2 years away from making themselves a mainstay at the top of the ACC. They need at least 1.5 more cycles of NIL money to come through because they've got the budget.
The money.
Yeah, they've got the money. So once that starts funneling through, if you see them making moves like Texas Tech did, this year, if SMU does that next year, then I will have more confidence.
I like it. My number 5 team, you can laugh at me. Get ready to laugh.
All right.
Virginia Tech. That was a really long pause. I thought for sure they'd be a laugh.
I don't want to laugh because I'm like, oh, you're doing it again.
I'm doing it again.
Right,
I'm buying into it. So they had 5 close losses last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think in 4 of their losses last season, 4 of their 7 losses, they were either tied or held a lead with 2 minutes to go in the game. They are primed to progress to the mean. People say you got to regress to the mean. This is Virginia Tech getting better by becoming more average. I think there are no expectations in Blacksburg. Brent Pry knows he's on the hot seat. I'm still a believer that Brent Pry is a good football coach. I think Virginia Tech shocks a lot of people, and they find themselves at the top of the ACC come the end of the season. Their most difficult game to start the year off is going to be a Atlanta game against South Carolina. That is tough. That is how you open up the season. Then you got Vandy. I don't believe Vanderbilt's a good program, even with Diego Pavia saying that last year was a complete disappointment. Unfortunately for Diego, I think this season is going to be a bit of a disappointment too. Then you got Old Dominion, Wofford, at NC State, homecoming against Wake Forest, Georgia Tech on the road. Then you got a bye week. So you have a bit of a marathon to start the season off, but you could easily find yourself sitting there at 6-1 going into your bye week on October 18th.
So here's the thing about me buying into
last year when you bought into Virginia Tech.
Yeah, man.
You.
Yeah, they just had so many like head scratching performances. Tech is one of the teams that I wouldn't put them in my top 5, not because I don't like them. It's just because I was so optimistic last year.
Yeah.
You have to prove it. And I don't need a win against South Carolina, but I need to see in this first month of football for Virginia Tech, I need to see you start games and finish games with some consistency. I don't want to see you down 21 and clawing your way back into it.
Like Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So there's a fun fact. Virginia Tech over the last, 6 years since 2019, 6-19 against the spread. So if you're a bettor, or even if you're just a general fan, that is telling you they are not doing what they need to be doing against non-conference teams. And that will be key. Like you said, not get down 21 to Vanderbilt. That will be key in Virginia Tech finding success this season. I don't think they're a college football playoff team. I think it's going to be ACC or nothing, but I think they could potentially find themselves in the mix to be a top team in the ACC, get a better bowl game than the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Although I love the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, Duke's Mayo Bowl was good, and I'm thankful they didn't have a full spread of all things Mayo.
All right, next team is my 6th team. It's Florida State.
I think that's optimistic too.
Look, again, it's one of the same reasons why I'm optimistic on Virginia Tech. Florida State last season lost a lot of games. I mean, I could just pause there, right? They went 2-10. They lost a lot of games. But according to Phil Steele, Florida State is his most improved team, projecting a bowl, projecting a mass jump in wins from last season to this season.
I think they won 2 games, Phil.
They did win 2 games. So I mean, if they go 4-8, that's 100% increase.
They go 6-6. Oh.
I like Castellanos, the Boston College transfer.
Yeah. He better stop talking and prove something. Again, back yourself into a corner.
We will know exactly how good Florida State is week 1 against Alabama. Like
I mean, as much trash as he's talked to Alabama, we better win. We better win.
But I like they got a lot of returners, 16 total returners, 8 on offense.
You're
8
returning
on
from a 2-win team, sir.
Look, who knew that you'd be so down on Florida State? I thought
it was embarrassing. You went from complaining about not getting into the playoffs to 2 wins.
Well, they lost like their whole team, man. Why am I defending Florida State here?
Because there's no defense. Like losing your whole team, and you're supposed to have been like the way they do it through the portal anyway. The expectation was that it would be fine. That's what was said before the season started and all that, and it went downhill very fast. And then you do the thing where you fire everybody but the head coach, obviously because you paid him so much. But everybody else is getting fired.
Like $100 million.
Everybody else is getting fired like it's their fault, but you don't see improvement. You bench your quarterback, you get rid of your assistant coaches, etc., and there's no improvement. So, I mean, why should I believe that you use the same methods that you use to go 2 wins? It's going to get so much better this season
because it worked in 2023.
Yeah, it didn't work in 2024.
But it worked in 2022.
You're only as good as your last season.
Well, yeah, but it worked in 22 and 23 where they went a combined 23-4.
Yeah, and we're not going to skip over the fact that you went 2 wins.
Yeah, you struck out mightily on a lot of your transfers. You got to hope Castellanos is the answer, though, at quarterback. I mean, that's really what it all rides on.
Well, according to him, he is, so we'll see.
All right, number 7, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was like shockingly good. They shocked the world by taking down what we thought at the time was a good Florida State team.
Wow.
Over in Ireland.
Unnecessary.
Here you were just dogging on your own team. Then I come in with 1 shot after putting them.
I can do it
6.
because I'm the fan. You can't do that.
I put them top 6. I show faith, and I have 1 little shot at Florida State. But no, Georgia Tech with Brent Key and their quarterback Haynes King, they were a very good team, and they faced 5 of the top 6 teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference a season ago. I am high on Georgia Tech because when they got their quarterback out there and their star running back, they were nearly unbeatable. Then they got kind of banged up at the end of the season. They kind of completely fell apart. But I like Georgia Tech a lot, and so they sit there at 7. Bill Belichick is 8th. Sorry. UNC is 8th. Jordan King is 8th. Sorry, Tar Heels. This is more so like I didn't really know what to do with UNC. I assume Bill will be a good coach. Brought in a lot of talent, but I just don't know. Like UNC's perpetually under Mac Brown an underperformer, so they're 8th until proven otherwise. They are 8th. Syracuse is 9th, and I might be a little too high on the old orange right now. But I liked what Fran Brown did in year 1. They have a massive, absolutely gaping hole at quarterback after McCord left them. And they went and they filled it with what is expected to be Steve Angeli Jr. Angeli? That's an Italian last name if I've ever seen one. A transfer in from Notre Dame. So they hit the transfer portal again, tried to get it. But they've got a tough opening schedule. They've got Tennessee, at Clemson, at SMU before they get their first bye week on October 11th. So they could be staring at a 3-3 start dead in the face, which 2 of those would be ACC losses, and that would essentially take them out of ACC contention, which is why they're right around the fringe of the top 10. If their quarterback hits, maybe they can pull out one of those as an upset, but it's a very young team, not a lot of returners, just 2 returners on offense, 6 returners on defense. But they can try and build off of Fran Brown's 10-3 first season in Syracuse. So they're sitting there at number 9 for me. I like the orange. Number 10 is NC State. Not a lot to say about NC State. I feel like every year they're like good enough. 6-7 last year. They lost their bowl game. 9-4 before that. 8-5 before that. 9-3 before that. 8-4. They just kind of are always good enough. Not great. They'll probably lose a couple of games they probably shouldn't lose in conference play, but they've got a nice little schedule to open things up before their first bye week on October 18th. Their most difficult game to start the season off is probably that October 11th showdown with the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame. Outside of that, their other road games to start the season are at Wake Forest and at Duke. So it opens up well for NC State, but they tend to lose games they probably shouldn't lose. So right now they're sitting at 10th in my preseason ACC Media Day poll. UVA is 11th. A lot of people have UVA in their bottom half, their bottom quarter of the league, but that millions of dollar infusion into the team puts a lot of pressure on Tony Elliott. I think he went out, he got some good players in the transfer portal, put together a nice team, and what that quarterback from North Texas can do is going to be how far UVA goes. If he has a great season, UVA will have a great season. If he's looking a little rough, things may go off the rails quickly for UVA. This is a put up or shut up year for Tony Elliott. He has the firepower to go out there and exceed the already high expectations that are around Charlottesville with UVA. So right now I got him at 11th, but they could be a dark horse ACC team. Duke is 12th. Pitt is 13th. Boston College is 14th. Cal is 15th. Cal had a lot of close losses a season ago. They opened up the year 3-4, but of their 4 losses, they were 1 play away from winning them. A lot of missed field goals resulted in them losing. So Cal is a team that could be poised for a bounce back, but they did lose a lot of their talent. So for right now, they're 15th. Wake is 16th, and Stanford is 17th. All right, let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside, be back with more Monday Morning Fitz the Bill right here on 106.1 ESPN.
Golf season is here. Whether it's your first round of the year or the next round, make sure you're playing it at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. We're offering special pricing this summer on outings for civic organizations, churches, kids' athletic teams, or your own special fundraiser. Also, now is the time to start signing up for your fall golf outings. For more information or to book a tee time, give us a call at 804-749-1900 or visit online at huntinghawkgolf.com.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz.
It's bow time. Sure, you've had a sausage biscuit before, but have you had the smoked sausage biscuit from Bojangles? Well, now is your chance. Juicy, slow-cooked smoked sausage is grilled to perfection and served on a fluffy, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. No one does breakfast like Bojangles, and this smoked sausage biscuit doesn't disappoint. Right now, you can get 2 for just $5. Start your day with this flavor-packed deal while it lasts. It's bow time.
Brew it, taste it, sip it, pork it. At the Beer, Bourbon, and Barbecue Festival, Saturday, July 26th at the Meadow Event Park. It's indoors for 1 day only. Open at noon for VIPs, 2 p.m. general admission. Listen to live music. Bring your friends to enjoy over 60 craft beers and 40 bourbons with unlimited sampling, plus lots of great barbecue. For more info, go to beerandbourbon.com. That's beerandbourbon.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Oh, I love this scene.
Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this.
Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of gold unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
Statewide sports, straight talk, and no fluff. Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily dose of hard-hitting Virginia sports debate. Don't miss it.
Welcome back into Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside as we get you ready for a fantastic week right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. We're heading down to Charlotte, North Carolina later today, Matt Josephs and I, and we will be live from ACC Media Days for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, talking with a ton of players and coaches, getting all of the insights that you need ahead of ACC football. I gave my top I ranked them all 1 through 17 teams in a conference. Jeez Louise. 1 through 17, breaking all of that down. I will then revise the list after ACC Media Days because something is bound to change throughout. But I do want to rank top 10 running backs now. It is list season. We are coming to the end of list season, August-ish, when training camps are really getting going. That's around when list season is over. But for right now, we're still in it. And last week, we ranked top quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is not in my top 10. We ranked, wide receivers. So now we're doing running backs. Slowly but surely, we'll get through all position groups. Next up, probably offensive line, maybe some defensive backs, secondaries like that will be in there. But top 10 running backs, number one, I don't think this is crazy. I think you all are probably expecting this. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL. Oh, I should say the criteria. Sorry. Criteria is
jumping over people backwards.
That. And Saquon Barkley does it best. No, it's best running backs in the league right now. Plus, as I always like to do, how will they be in the next 3 to 5 years? Can you realistically build around them? Will they continue being good for at least the quick nearsighted future? And Saquon Barkley checks every single box. He's easily number one. It's not really an argument. Most rush yards in NFL history between the regular season and postseason, had over 2,000 regular season rushing yards. There's a fun fact about him that I read. I think it was from Fantasy Pros, one of those fantasy websites that always have the nerd stats. He had more touchdowns in 2024 from outside the 20-yard line than from inside the 20-yard line. Wow. Saquon Barkley. So he's number one. Number two is Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, up until probably this last offseason, I would have put him at number one. Age kind of impacts him, but I feel like for the last 5 years, we've been like, Derrick Henry, he's getting old. There's no way he can withstand it. Derrick Henry's getting old. There's no way we can withstand it. Just copy and paste the same talking points. And what has he done every time? He has defied father time. 5.9 yards per attempt last year. He feasted in a backfield that featured the most dangerous rushing quarterback in the NFL in Lamar Jackson. 81 forced missed tackles was the best mark in the NFL as well. So he still has that nimbleness, and he has shown, I cannot talk. He has shown no signs, say that 10 times fast, of slowing down. Dude's number two. The Ravens have a potent backfield with Henry and Lamar Jackson. Number three, this is probably when people will start disagreeing with me. Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, disagree.
Who do you have at 3?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I have him at 4.
Yeah, disagree.
I think Bijan Robinson is just silently being great in the ATL. He has zero passing attack, and he doesn't benefit from having, at least he did for the first 2 years of his career, the most intuitive, the most intelligent, the most I'm trying to think of instrumental. What's the word I'm trying to think of? I don't know, but Bijan Robinson's been doing it with a whole lot of nothing down there. He hasn't had a passing attack to help him. He's just been chugging along, getting his yards, getting his touchdowns, second in the league in forced missed tackles. He's fourth in the NFL in yards after contact, 14 touchdowns, 1 fumble. I have him at 3. Jahmyr Gibbs is 4, though. Jahmyr Gibbs is an electric running back. I'll give it to you. And he seemingly got better last year, Alan, when David Montgomery went down.
Well,
Jahmyr's good.
I don't even think it was that he got better. I just think, we got to see him with more touches.
Yeah.
Robinson has the potential to me to have a Saquon-like impact as he gets older, because his ability in open field, making people miss is like very, very good. And he's got great instincts when he's in the open field, but his vision at the line of scrimmage isn't as good as Gibbs.
Which is why he's 4th in the NFL. It's great that he gets yards after contact.
Yes.
That's kind of a two-edged sword, right? Like, that means you're being contacted early on in your runs, and he's 4th in the NFL.
He had that issue in college when he was at Texas. A lot of trying to just go for the home run rather than just moving the pile or taking the hole that's in front of you. But I think with Gibbs is electric.
Yes.
Bijan has the potential. He has electric runs, but every single time Gibbs gets the ball, defenses, fans all hold their breath. I don't get that with Bijan. I get that sometimes with him, but I don't get it all the time. Gibbs, I think, has separated himself in that perspective.
It's funny that you used electric as your adjective, because the very first bullet point I have for Jahmyr Gibbs that I wouldn't forget, electric.
Yeah.
Dude is just
woogie.
It's electric. Even with splitting the work too, for like 75% of the season, he was still 5th in the NFL in yards, and he was 3rd in the league in yards per attempt at 5.6.
If they'd have given him the ball more,
he would have gone over 2,000 yards.
Yeah, and if the Lions, when they played the Commanders in the playoffs, that was the guy I was worried about. I was like, because there's nobody on the defense quick enough to keep up with them. Yeah, so they probably need to use them a little bit more in the passing game too. But we'll see.
Instead in the passing game, they got Jamison Williams to throw, because that makes sense. All right, number 5 is Jonathan Taylor, which he's been quiet the last few seasons. He was struggling with some injuries in 22, in 23. He had a holdout, I think, in there as well when he was looking for a new contract. And last season was his worst season by PFF grades. Still averaged just a shade under 5 yards per attempt. And he's another running back that didn't have a passing attack at all, And he was getting hit right at the line of scrimmage. I cannot stress how bad his passing attack last year, and he was truly the only weapon. That was something that defenses had to hone in on. And so because of that, he didn't have his best year, still averaged, like I said, just a shade under 5 yards per attempt. And all of his counting stats were still great. 1,400 rushing yards, and just chugged along and was really the lone bright spot in the Colts offense last season. Number 6 is Josh Jacobs. What he did up in the NFC North, he just put his head down, and then the Packers getting him as a bona fide running back 1 for pretty cheap seems to have worked out well for him. It helped Jordan Love. He had 1,300 total rush yards last season. Of those, over 1,000 came after contact. And it's kind of funny with Bijan. I think it was because of his lack of vision. Sometimes he was getting contacted early on and then was able to push through. For Josh Jacobs, I think he was getting no offensive line help, and he was being hit right at the line of scrimmage time and time again. And even with that, he was able to generate over 1,000 yards rushing after contact, which is a very impressive stat. Very impressive. Number 7, James Cook. James Cook's growth as a running back has been very important to the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Brady, right? He's your guy?
Yeah,
Joe Brady.
Who's
Josh Brady?
I don't know who he is, but he sounds like he'd be a menace.
Get Joe Brady and Josh Brady on the same. Joe Brady, he's been able to unlock James Cook in a really impressive way.
Joe Brady is the best offensive mind in the NFL. That's including Ben Johnson in that conversation.
Hot take.
Yeah, he'll get his due. Don't worry. Sean Payton tried to tell him.
Joe Brady lost some of his luster during Carolina days.
Yeah, but who gets luster during the Carolina days?
Yeah, look at Baker Mayfield. Mayfield was literally almost thrown out of the league because of his time in Carolina.
Brady was offensive coordinator with Canales, they'd be killing it right now. Instead, he got Matt Rule.
And where's Matt Rule? In Nebraska.
Being as boring as he was in Carolina.
Yikes. But so I like James Cook a lot because Brady has done a great job of unlocking him. Number 8's Bucky Irving. The Tampa rookie had over 1,100 rushing yards. He had the best yards after contact per attempt. And I know that's long, but Essentially, when he would get contacted, he would get a couple extra yards after that at the best rate in the NFL. Really, really promising rookie season for Bucky Irving. Alvin Kamara is number 9, mainly because of what he has done. I think he's one of the best receiving backs still in the NFL, but he was truly the only weapon on that New Orleans Saints offense. I would
fight that and still put Breece Hall in there instead of Kamara. But
okay, Breece, you would put Breece Hall at 9. I was between Breece Hall and Chase Brown at 10. I put Chase Brown mainly because, look, full disclosure, I am a Chase Brown fantasy owner, and he did get me a lot of points. So I was very aware with the week by week.
So we can't trust you.
No, Breece Hall was bad last year.
I know he was
Chase
bad.
Brown. So if we're looking at stocks, right? Chase Brown is a stock that's going up. Breece Hall is a stock that just took a nosedive after
Chase
going
Brown
up.
has never seen a full box in his life, I'm sure, because Joe Burrow is freaking quarterback.
That's a valid
Breece
point.
Hall had 10 people plus 2 more somehow in the box last
Each
year.
and every game.
Yes.
So Breece Hall does get a bump up because he was the only weapon on that team. Aaron Rodgers couldn't get the ball to Garrett Wilson.
Only so much he could do.
People knew that it was the Breece Hall show, but even then he was rough last year. I like where Chase Brown is going. That's up. Breece Hall, he took a hard nosedive. Like, it was a straight depression. Like, it came and you're like, oh, that's not good. But Chase Brown, his speed, he is so fast. He had a 2-touchdown performance over the final 3 weeks of the season. He was really finding his rhythm, going for over 250 rushing yards, a touchdown. Lots of room for growth, but playing in an offense like the Bengals, I think he kind of finally unlocks what Zach Taylor had been missing for so long when it came to a potent rushing attack. So I like Chase Brown at 10. Just on the outside looking in was Breece Hall. Breece Hall, if he has another bounce back year, could actually probably jump up a couple of spots because of how good he was when he first got into the NFL. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll be back, wrap up this Monday right here on 106.1 ESPN.
Looking for a neighborhood service station that can provide premium fuel for your car, auto repairs, and friendly advice? Stop by the family-owned Bon Air Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road.
Dude, I think the time has finally come. You gave it a good life, man. Yeah, but it's been so long since I've been in the market. It's just your garage refrigerator. Don't worry, I got a guy. They can give me a good deal?
Still putting off replacing your old appliances? I'm Rob Nicholson, the appliance guy. At East Coast Appliance, we're Virginia's largest independent appliance dealer of top brand names. Plus, we have a huge selection of brand new scratch and dent appliances at discounted prices. Visit East Coast Appliance today. The best price, or it's free. Hi, Rob Nicholson here from East Coast Appliance. A lot of people ask, what is the deal with scratch and dent appliances? And it's really pretty simple. They keep your food just as cold, wash your clothes just as good, and they're all backed by the original manufacturer warranty. It's true a scratch and dent appliance might not win a beauty pageant, but many of them only have a small ding or two. But the price tags have big savings of up to a few $100s. Save huge on scratch and dent appliances right now at East Coast Appliance, where you always get the best price, or it's free.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcome Lamb of God and War with Hatebreed, Thursday, July 24th. Tickets on sale now. Whiskey Myers with Josh Malloy in the Drop Time, Saturday, July 26th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on ESPNRichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
Oh, I love this scene. Yeah, man. I bet we could pull off a street race like this. Dude, totally.
Hey, you know this is just a movie, right?
Whoa, what?
You try this in real life, you could kill someone or even yourself.
Life's not like the movies. Avoid a life-changing consequence and slow down because this is one disaster you can't outrun. Speeding catches up with you. A message presented by NHTSA.
Back to school is on the brain. That means new notebooks, pencils, new everything. And while the kids are getting ready to get book smart, it's time for you to save smart with Straight Talk Wireless. Switch now and get a free Moto G 2025 with 5G when you activate select plans. Now that's a smart call. Get Straight Talk covered by Verizon's 5G network. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Offer valid through 10/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Purchase of gold unlimited plan or higher required for offer. Must activate the plan in-store at Walmart. Cannot be combined with other offers.
Hey, my name is Wally Rayner, former NFL linebacker. Wahoo Wah.
Hey, I'm here in Richmond, and when I'm riding around, I listen to Border to Border at 106.1 ESPN.
I've never heard this song
Well,
in my life.
of course you've never heard it in your life. I
What
wouldn't
is
expect
it? May's Happy Feelings?
Yeah, it's a vibe, man.
All right.
It's a good song to end the day on. Happy feeling.
Day just getting started here on 106.1 ESPN.
Yeah, for you, I'm out after
All right. Yeah, for me, I got to drive down to Charlotte later today. and
well, you know.
Get all ready. Got to wake up early to set up the Comrex in Old Radio Row.
Oh, man. Tragedy. I'm so glad I got to do that.
Hey, but at least, yeah, we'll be there live tomorrow.
Maybe
from
I'll
the
catch you guys in October for basketball where we get cold sandwiches.
I'm very excited. The food has come with rave reviews.
So mad.
A friend of mine used to be the Daily Progress beat writer, friend of the program, Bennett Conlon, used to be the beat writer for UVA basketball. And I texted him, I was going to ACC Media Days. I said, Bennett, what should I look out for? I thought he'd give me like the inside scoop on, you should look for this, do this, get into the scrums this way, give me tips like that. No, he said, bro, the food is amazing. And I was like, thanks, man.
I wonder if they even do the scrums differently. It was
the scrums, they put a player at a table and they have 45-minute availability in a ballroom.
45 minutes? We did not get that for sure.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes. It's the players and coaches all available at like their own tables.
So we had the own tables. We had players and coaches, but we definitely didn't get 45.
Should I ask Carson Beck his thoughts on the Cavender twins?
I mean, by all means, if you can slip the question in there, for sure. I asked Coach Bennett about NIL and then he retired.
And he retired.
Yeah,
You're the reason he retired.
I know that's the word that gets around.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
If I ever run into him again, I'm gonna be like, dude, did you have to do that after my question was the last question?
Your question was the last question. Then the next day,
and it was specifically about NIL.
Alan Sandage from ESPN Richmond really got me thinking overnight. I'm gonna have to step away from this profession.
Retired.
Yikes! You know what else is not a retirement overreaction? I don't know. There was no clean segue to that. Dan Graziano of ESPN said, is it an overreaction to think that the Commanders can win the NFC East? He does not think that's an overreaction. He thinks the Commanders are poised to take down the Eagles this year. And he's pointing to a stat that I have been pointing to for quite some time, that there has not been a back-to-back winner of the NFC East since the early 2000s.
Yeah, but did he also put an asterisk there and say, but the last team to do it was the Eagles?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But the last team to do it was the Eagles.
Yes.
I don't think it's, I'm with him though. I don't think it's an overreaction to think the Commanders can win the NFC East. I will also say that the Commanders have the most variance going into 2025 as any team in the NFL for a couple of reasons. Last year, they had the easiest schedule in the league. Plus, they had multiple one-possession wins with great fourth-quarter comebacks, which bodes well for Jaden Daniels being a very poised fourth-quarter comeback type of quarterback. But adding in the easiest schedule plus a lot of one-possession games, you could easily regress and lose 5 extra games that you may have won the year before. But with that, on the other side of the coin, you bring in Laramie Tunsil, one of the top-end left tackles in the NFL. You bring in Deebo Samuel, a Swiss Army knife, and you got to think Jaden Daniels now with the full offseason with Cliff Kingsbury could take a necessary step forward. So they could have struggles this year, but they also could have great success and take down the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of variance there, and I'm leaning on the side of the Commanders being great. I'm leaning on the side that the additions of Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel and Connerly, their first-round draft pick, heck, even Trey Amos, their second-round draft pick, those additions with Marshawn Lattimore, fingers crossed, being healthy, those additions will help shore up some of their deficiencies that were on display last year and give them a real shot to take down the Eagles in the NFC East and continue it for another season where there is not a back-to-back champion of the NFC East. It's not an overreaction to think the Commanders can do it, maybe even get back to the NFC Championship. Jaden Daniels, conversations with MVP. If you're a betting guy, I'd recommend betting Jaden Daniels to win the MVP. Now, you get a lot of value on it. We'll be back tomorrow live from ACC Media Days. Keep it locked.
Your home for the Atlanta Braves. Catch every pitch and homer. W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV